Good morning, everybody. This is Mark Dahl coming to you from Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon. I'm here at the Watsek Library, where I serve as Associate Director for Digital Initiatives and Collection Management. That puts me in charge of cataloging and acquisitions, library technology, and visual resources. So I understand it, I'm speaking with Seattle Pacific University library staff who are having a retreat today, or whenever you're watching this video. And you're going to be using one of my articles, the article I wrote this spring for OLA Quarterly, as a discussion piece for your retreat. I'm here to more or less summarize that article and kind of pose some possible questions for you to discuss or ponder. Anyway, this article is a summary of where I think library search and discovery is headed. I believe that increasingly libraries are going to be performing their work in the cloud on web-scale systems, web-scale discovery systems that have global reach. In this way, our local work is going to take on global relevance. The WorldCat.org platform, and you can kind of tell that I'm an advocate of this platform from the article, is an effort in this direction. It's not the only effort, but it's one I highlight in the article. Why is this the case? If you read Nick Carr's book, came out last year, called The Big Switch, he talks a lot about how computing has gotten centralized on the web. The center of gravity on the web is around big websites like Google, Amazon, Wikipedia, Flickr. When people are searching for information, they go to these websites. And I believe this has implications for how libraries should do their work and how libraries should facilitate search and discovery of the content that we have. Library vendors have been saying for quite a while that, hey, we can give you a search experience that's like Amazon. But I think when they sell you a product that maybe looks like Amazon and feels like Amazon, there's something missing there. And WorldCat.org is really trying to close that gap, I guess. What WorldCat.org is trying to do is create a presence on the web that is similar to or on par with these big websites like Google and Amazon. And their position, OCLC's position to do this because they have economies of scale. OCLC is a big operation. They've got resources to have lots of software developers to make their user interface top-notch. You've got usability testing going on, focus groups, things like that. More importantly, WorldCat.org, kind of like something like Google or Wikipedia, it's a web scale database that gets better the more people use it. Unlike an isolated library catalog, WorldCat.org relies on information that patrons submit in the database. Well, information librarians contribute to the database in the form of updating holdings, improving catalog records to improve its search relevance. For instance, the number of libraries that hold a book contribute heavily to relevancy ranking in the database, and that's something that you couldn't achieve in a local isolated library catalog like your III catalog. Furthermore, I think OCLC wants to just use the WorldCat.org platform and its various manifestations in WorldCat Local to create a familiar place on the web for searching and discovering items in libraries. Right now, if you go to the typical library website, you're confronted with quite a variety of different search tools and interfaces, everything from Academic Search Premier to JSTOR to whatever. And but WorldCat.org is, what they want to do is make this kind of the place people come across to search for things in libraries. Even if they're out there in Google, they'll encounter WorldCat.org records, they'll find their way in there, they'll encounter it on the homepage of library websites, and people will get comfortable with it. They'll get comfortable with searching it, with browsing through records on it, with exporting data from it, perhaps. So anyway, that's the goal, and I think it's a worthy goal, and I support it. I think this trend of global databases taking on greater importance, and libraries doing more work in these kinds of platforms, these global platforms, is going to extend beyond WorldCat.org. We may be using a web-scale ILS if OCLC has their way in a few years. And the vision here is that all library activities, whether it be checking out books, purchasing journals, accessing electronic resources, all of these activities will become part of a global data stream that can be analyzed in real time. You'll be able to look and see how often a given article is being accessed in libraries around the world, or how often a book has been checked out on a particular day in libraries around the world, if this vision of an ILS, network level ILS, comes to fruition. Anyway, and theoretically all that real-time data will allow libraries to make better decisions about purchasing content for their audiences, and they'll be better able to negotiate agreements to purchase content in consortia and other ways that they do that. I think the model is also going to extend to digital collections. Increasingly, we're going to be doing our digital collections on web-scale systems like ArtStore, for instance, which is opening itself up to content contributed by institutions and individuals, whereas before it was all done centrally. I think that digital scholarship is another area where we're going to see web-scale databases come to the fore. Check out Project Bamboo, sponsored by the Mellon Foundation. It's all about creating this shared platform for collaboration and scholarship in the digital humanities. I think collaborative student research is another area where global databases take on relevance. This is kind of where students do research and build upon the work of students before them and scholars before them, and then other students come along and build on their work, and the research is shared on some platform that's exposed to the web. Check out the History Engine at the University of Richmond for a good example of this. Let me throw out a couple of questions here kind of to wrap things up, and maybe perhaps problematize some of the things that I've said. I've been advocating for libraries to do work that has a global reach, yet academic libraries are generally funded by their local institutions. So isn't there a tension here between doing work with global relevance that's perhaps more esoteric and serves an audience that's well beyond the borders of our campuses, and our mandate, our funding to serve our local population? Another question I can throw out there is, should we be content to simply emulate the consumer web, to simply emulate sites like Google, sites like Wikipedia, or should academic libraries be striving to give their patrons more? Should we be giving our patrons opportunities to encounter information in more sophisticated ways? Should we support advanced data mining, textual analysis, statistical analysis of data sets, etc.? Well, I wish you luck in your retreat. I hope I've thrown out some fodder for discussion, and I was honored to be a part of it. Thank you.